Okay, our next guest is Coach Cervantes Boddy. He is the head boys basketball coach at Butler High School. Coach Boddy, thank you for being with us today.
No problem, anytime.
Okay, good. Well, now, we talked a moment ago to Reggie Middleton, and Reggie is a college basketball player at Winthrop College now, and he was the last boys player that we could find that won a state title, and he did that in 2007. Now, Coach Boddy, in his first season, last season, took the Butler High School Bulldogs all the way to the state championship game, which is an unbelievable feat for a first-year coach. And so we had to get in touch with him to see what the day is like today and things like that. So, Coach, we talked with Reggie about the fact that, you know, being a great team that goes all the way to the state championship game like you guys were last year and frankly were this year as well. Might not have gotten to the state championship game, but had a fine team. You know, you play in front of big crowds and, you know, you pack your gym and it's loud and it's exciting. And when you get, you know, from where we sit, it looks like when you get to this state championship game in this huge coliseum, it almost probably seems like a less hostile environment because the gym is so big and it doesn't get filled up. Is that accurate? Is it a different atmosphere than your normal home game or region tournament game?
Yes, it's quite a bit different, but at the same time, it's a lot the same. I think the differences tend to fade away once you actually begin playing. One of the major differences is that when you're playing at home or on the road locally, your fans are a lot closer. You know, your supporters as well as your hecklers, you can actually hear them. But playing in that Coliseum, they're a ways back, and you know the floor is a whole lot more open. And that's one major adjustment that players have to make in a big game like this.
Yeah, it's almost, you know, maybe more of a like a summer league type atmosphere in that sense. Is that right? Well, I won't say summer league because it's obviously high pressure, but go ahead.
Yeah, it's a lot more pressure, and you know, one of the major challenges for a lot of players playing at that level is that there is no wall, there is no backdrop behind your goals. You know, it's a lot more space. You know, normally you used to stepping up to that free throw line and you see the wall behind the rim, but once you're playing in that Coliseum, you know, there's nothing back there. So, you know, you have to make the mental adjustment and just keep rolling.
Yeah, that's a great point. Now, Coach, your team was one of the few in the area this year that was able to beat Laney, and or frankly, in the last 2 or 3 years, not many have been able to beat Laney. But you guys had some success. Is there anything that you would know about Laney that you would think they must do tonight in order to become state champions?
I think the main thing is for them to continue playing the way they've been playing. They're a great ball club, and you know they just have to. Well, I mean, actually, they probably don't need to make many adjustments. They've been to the Final Four the last 3 years, so I'm sure they have a feel for the gym and, you know, all of those things. But my only advice would be to continue doing what they've been doing.
Yeah, I think that's great advice. They've been playing very hard and playing as a team, and they've been very fun to watch. And then when it comes to the other game, the girls' game, you are a sub-region opponent with Washington County, and obviously you coach the boys, but you've probably been out of the locker room at times during the girls' game, and have you, if so, what do you think of Alicia Gray, one of the best girls basketball players in the country?
Alicia Gray is phenomenal.
Yeah.
She has a high basketball IQ, and she's a student of the game, and also she's a team player. You know, a lot of people, they think, like, and me, initially, I will admit, when I first heard of her, and I noticed the stats she was putting up, I thought, you know, well, okay, well, if a team was to key in on her and shut her down, then, you know, they would probably be successful. But she's surrounded by great players also, and I think that gets overshadowed a lot because of her success and her individual stats. But she has a great point guard. She has just a great team. But Alicia Gray, I agree with that. She's probably the best, if not the best, one of the best players, male or female, in the nation at this level.
Yeah,
she's wonderful.
Great. She's great. She scored 40 last night. Just amazing. And then also her coach, Shug Parker, I have to give him credit as well. He's a very fine coach. Have you noticed that as well?
Definitely. I'm actually pretty good friends with Coach Parker. He and I, we talk a bit, and I actually use him as a mentor. You know, he's a great coach, and he does a fine job.
Good. Well, that's great to hear. Okay. Well, you know, and your team, again, had a fine team. You know, the Region 3A was so tough this year, and it was such a shame to see two teams like Butler and Thompson have to fight it out in the quarterfinals of the region tournament, and, you know, two just great teams. So, you know, congratulations on your first 2 years being, you know, coming out of the gate so successful as a young head coach. And, you know, I'm sure you're looking forward to next season.
Definitely. We actually cannot wait till next season. We working hard in the weight room and on the track and getting in shape and conditioning even as we speak. So, you know, that's, you know, I've never been. It's hard. It's hard for me to deal with defeat, and I feel very defeated this year. So, you know, that's one of my main goals. Lots of my friends, they always tell me, man, stop talking about basketball, you know, because whatever I'm doing, I somehow can relate it back to that sport. So, you know, we look forward to next year.
Well, your guys are good to have somebody like you that is thinking about it, because, you know, that you and they are definitely better off for it. So thank you so much for being with us. We look forward to talking with you more and more in the future. And have a nice weekend, Coach.
No problem. You too.
Okay.
All right.